can't feel your rear delts, let me show you how to do it perfect every time. All right, guys, I've gotten a ton of questions on delt, specifically rear delt questions on how to activate it, how to make it work. I can't feel them turning on. And honestly, this is something that took me a while to learn. So what I want to do is I want to take that knowledge that took years and teach it to you in about 6 minutes or less. Now, what we want to think about is the form and function of the rear delt, right? So I'm going to turn to the side here. Now, watch what I'm doing with my arm path. Look where my elbow is in relation to my torso. I'll dip down a bit here so you can see. So elbow in relation. Now, second thing I want you to notice, my arm angle. It's not straight, it's not super bent, but it's also not bending, right? So a lot of times people will say, oh, I feel it all in my triceps. Well, guess what? Anytime you extend your arm this way, my tricep work, watch it cut on, boom, you can see it. You can literally watch that muscle flex, right? So what we want to think about is you have to set a bend in your arm like this and lock it in stone. Think about having a cast on from here to here, and then all we're going to do is pivot off of this joint, right? So that's step one. Lock this joint slightly bent into place. Okay. Thing number two that you hear, I feel it all on my traps, right? So I'm going to turn again to this. Let me turn all the way around this time. Watch what happens when I overextend. Can you see my traps through my shirt? All that is traps. Traps, traps. And that's because I'm trying to go way too far back, trying to get way too much range of motion. So what you have to do is you have to find your sweet spot range of motion. And let's actually put this in the premise. I want to show you what I'm talking about on this bench. All right, so let's talk about how to set myself up on this bench properly. I'm going to put the top, meaning the top of this bench here, right at my sternum or right below my lower pecs. So here, I'm going to turtle shell my body over it and tuck my feet underneath me. I'm not going to Superman it. Tuck my feet underneath of me. Now, from here, I'm going to take my hands out, maintaining that bend in my elbow, but not extending from the elbow. So what I mean by that is a lot of people go here, they kick it out. All it is triceps, guys. Stop doing that. Next, get my traps into it. They start trying to get too much range of motion. So let me show you a couple of those. Here, here, here. That's all trap. Or they start getting lat into it because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to go back. Here, that's lats and traps. Let's do rear delts. So all I'm thinking about with this dumbbell bent over lateral is a reverse pec deck. Let me show you some perfect reps. Here. Now, what happens when things start getting hard? Say I'm at 12 and it calls for 20. Instead of muscling it up, just start doing partial ranges of motion. Here, my rear delts are still fully turned on. Here, into where I'm even moving it just as little as here. That does not matter. That's, to me, why my rear delts have grown. I don't stress out about getting 20 perfect full range of motion reps. If I lose range, I'm fine as long as that muscle stays turned on, and as long as I'm not cheating with my traps or cheating with my triceps, it will stay turned on. Now, let's get to the cable station, and I'll show you how to do it on there. All right, so exercise number 2 we're going to show here. And the reason I like this is it's a mixture between the dumbbell bent over laterals and the reverse pec deck. So we're right in the middle here. But it's all the same premises. I'm not going to pull with my traps, I'm not going to pull with my lats, and I'm not going to extend at the elbow. So let me show you what that looks like. Grab here, opposite cable, opposite hand. Stand tall with the torso, lock in your shoulders, meaning you're not getting play here front to back. Lock them in, and now crank rear delts. 1, 2. 1, 2. On this exercise, I like to do a 2-count pulse. 1, 2. 1, 2. Perfect range, right? I'm not overextending. I'm getting my elbow in line with my torso, and I'm flexing my rear delts. Hard, right there. Rear delt. Rear delt. Killing that muscle. Something else that I really like to do on this piece is after I reach full range of motion failure is to knock out 10 to 20 additional partials. So let's show you what that looks like. So remember, opposite arm, opposite hand. Let's say I'm knocking out full range here, and I can feel my rear delts just starting to die. There's nothing wrong with just going here. Now look how I lock that muscle in, right? I'm not using my traps, not extending the elbow, short range of motion. Even if I'm only budging it like here, I can still feel my rear delts turned on. Still fully on. That is a John Meadows trick for you guys. He taught me that years and years ago, and then I'm telling you, when I started putting those two principles together, my rear delts went and started to develop. Now, let's get over to the reverse pec deck and show you what I'm talking about. All right, reverse pec deck. Now, what I want to think about is the pad on my chest, but then also where my wrists hit on this handle. So I'll get him to look at it. Look how that everything lines up, right? My hand's not up here, my hand's not down here. If my hand's low, God, I'm smashing my traps, right? If the hand's high, it's gonna get trapped again. I have to be right in the middle. So I'm gonna be right on that plane to where if I held my arm up to parallel to the ground, that's where this handle's gonna hit. So for me, bam, right there. Now, I wanna slightly lean into this piece, so I'm not getting spinal extension at all. And then all I wanna think about is taking them away and elbows even with my torso. 1, 2, bam, just like that cable piece. 1, 2. 1, 2. Here. Now, when things get hard, again, remember, guys, don't obsess about full range. Just smash that shoulder. I'm telling you, right here. If you hit 15 full range, and then do 15 like this, it will kill your shoulders, I promise. There you have it. Rear delts, how to activate it, how to turn it on. Now, last thing before we wrap this video up, reps, sets, and when to do it. I will all day long be a proponent of training shoulders after chest. And then on the flip side of that, after all that chest work, I don't need to do any shoulder pressing, guys. You've heard me say that before, I'm gonna say it again. I do 0 shoulder pressing, and then from there, it's all side and rear delts, because that's what needs to go. I get all that front delt work on the incline barbell, on the incline dumbbell, on the hammer strength pieces. Then I get into the shoulders, and guess what? I blow up the rear and the side portions of my delt. So use this today. I'm telling you, put those into place, and then for reps, get ready, 15 to as many as 50. That sweet spot for me for shoulders is 20 to 30. It's gonna burn, it's gonna feel terrible, but the pump you get is gonna be nasty, and that's what's gonna lead to growth. So if you like this video, guys, like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate the support as this channel continues to grow. And until next time, this is TV.